What's up, everybody? The accountant here doing another best ball, the Little Dalmatian. It's $1 to enter, and first place is $20,000. My name is Kyle. Welcome to the channel, and get ready to draft. Hopefully, we get a good slot. Maybe top 4 pick would be nice. Ooh, I got the 12 pick. That one hurts, but we're going to make it work. I'll probably most likely get 2 stud running backs. So yeah, no big deal getting the 12th pick. I honestly think that there's pros and cons to anywhere on the draft board. With the later rounds, you can get most likely 2 stud running backs, or if say like Ashton Genty and Justin Jefferson fall here, I can swoop both of them up, which doesn't happen often, but you never know. So yeah, you also get to take 2 players that you really want. Sometimes when you're drafting at like the 1, 2, or the 11, 12, you got to more likely than not reach on some guys that you like because chances are they're probably not going to make it all the way back to you at your next pick. So just something you got to keep in mind when you're drafting at the turns. So yeah, this is actually my 4th stream. I'm new to this, still trying to get the feel of things. But I've been doing best ball now for this is my 3rd year. Last year I came in 2nd place in a tournament. So I cashed out a pretty good amount of money from coming in 2nd place. So I decided to start streaming to get a little bit more serious. I'm maxing out more tournaments this year. So yeah, I'm excited to see if I can, for the 3rd year in a row, come out positive, which would be awesome. So Saquon Barkley goes, which I like to see. Now if this guy goes like, oh, he goes CeeDee Lamb. So I'm just going to take, this doesn't happen much, where you get Ashton Genty and James Cook. I'm not going to overthink it. I like both these guys. So I'm going to take the top 2 picks based off of ADP. But yeah, please like the channel and subscribe if you want, some analysis and some player takes. Like I said, I'm new to this, so I'm trying to get a little bit of a following so I can start going live with these drafts so we can draft together. I think it makes it more fun. And then we can comment and talk to each other. You guys can talk trash on my picks if you want. I got some thick skin, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I think this time of year, I was watching some streamers on YouTube, and I think it's good just to get different people's perspectives, not only on players, but on, game, like game takes as well, like uniqueness and how to structure your portfolio of like exposures and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, I'm here to bounce ideas off of myself and to whoever else wants to join. But yeah, this tournament is definitely going to fill quickly. It's $1 to enter, and first place is $20,000, which is just awesome. And you can do, I believe, 101 entries, which I just plan on doing pretty much as many as I can before it gets filled because I know it's going to fill quickly. So I'm hoping to at least get like 50 in. So I will most likely be looking to take maybe Josh Allen here stacked with James Cook, or go some wide receivers. But you never know. Sometimes I just get a feeling and I might take a 3rd running back or a 4th. But Josh Allen goes off the board. And what I mean by stacks is Josh Allen would be stacked with James Cook because in the finals of this tournament specifically, you're going up against over 400 different teams. So you need stacks because it's just an easier correlation bet to score more points when you have guys on the same offenses. Especially like if Josh Allen was to throw touchdowns to James Cook, now you're shot to the top of the week 17 400 teams, if that makes sense. One year, for example, that the first year I ever did best ball, I made it to a final of a tournament. And I think T. Higgins caught like 3 touchdown passes from Joe Burrow in week 17. So I automatically was like all of a sudden in the lead in a big final of like over, 300 teams, whatever. And I ended up placing, I think, like in the top 10. And then last year, I don't think I had too many stacks on my second place team, but I had Drake May, Derrick Henry, Chris Olave. So I just had some good players on that team. But the guy who won the puppy, I noticed, had Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson, Stephon Diggs, who, all went off. I think he even matched it with Hunter Henry, who all did well in week 17 because the New England Patriots were playing the New York Jets. And Drake May even got subbed at halftime. So it just kind of goes to show you why stacking is so important. He actually, too, I noticed he didn't only have Ramondre Stevenson and Stephon Diggs. He also had like a super stack with Henderson as well. So I do like to mix in these super stack teams. Like if I was to have gotten Josh Allen here, I could have looked to get DJ Moore, Shakir, and just like keep stacking them up and don't like not shy away from DJ Moore just because I have James Cook and Josh Allen. Let's see if anyone has some good stacks yet. So this is a correlation bet here with Lamar Jackson and Chase Brown because they play each other week 17. And if it's a shootout and say the score is like 43-35, it's likely that both of these guys are going to have high fantasy points. So that's another way you can get a small advantage over the field by taking week 17 correlation. So I'm coming up on the clock. I could take Junkins. I feel like he's the last true workhorse on the board where we don't really have question marks like if he's going to be getting most of the looks or not. Price. Okay, Quinshon Junkins gets sniped from me, which is no big deal. I'm going to just go ahead and get Caleb Williams here because I want to stack him with Luther Burden. And then I am going to take one of these two wide receivers. I'm just going to go and take Brian Thomas. I've been taking him quite a bit in the last few drafts. He's one of my biggest feelings that he could have a bounce back year. We all saw it his rookie season. I was actually super high on him his rookie season. I just liked his film and I drafted a lot of him and it helped me advance a lot of my teams. But then last year, he obviously disappointed a lot of people. So a lot of people might just like not want to draft him at all because they drafted him last year in the first or second round. But there was an interview with him that he was injured and that his words, it hurt for him to run. And, as a professional athlete, I am actually a professional athlete. I play soccer. If I'm trying to play through an injury, my stats are going to take a hit. And football, the stats are thrown in your face way more than soccer. Like soccer, sure, if you're a striker, you're not scoring goals because you're playing through an injury, but like receiving stats, you're going to see that week in and week out. So if he's feeling better this year and he's 100%, he's on a good offense, he has the talent, and in best ball where we don't have to guess when to start him, I want him on my team. So that's where I'm at with BTJ. He's going to be on a lot of my teams. Especially too, like drafting at the back, in the back, where you can grab 2 running backs, and he could have been my wide receiver 4 if I really wanted him to be. I could have taken Odunze here, which maybe, well, I wanted Brian Thomas, but I could have stacked Odunze and Burden with Caleb Williams, but I like the Brian Thomas pick, clearly. I also like the Parker Washington pick. He goes off the board. I just think Jacksonville's offense is good, and I want to be invested in it. I think it could be an offense that spreads the ball around. So, like in redraft leagues, I'm not as high on Brian Thomas and Parker Washington. I still like them as like a flex consideration for sure. But in best ball, I think they're perfect wide receivers to have on your team. And you're not paying like a super high price for either one of them or the other Jacksonville wide receivers that go later on in the draft. Honestly, I just take all of them. And speaking of a stack, I will be looking to stack Trevor Lawrence with BTJ. If not, I could take one of these receivers or both of them. Okay, so I do have the opportunity to take Trevor Lawrence. So I will. Now the question is, do I want another running back or more receivers? I think I'm going to go Alec Pierce here. I also like Jaden Reed, but I want to start taking more of him at this price because if he starts practicing in camp, his price is going to go up. I really like the Colts playoff schedule as well. So they play Tennessee, Cincinnati, Cleveland. It's one of my favorite playoff schedules, honestly. And Alec Pierce, like I don't need him because I have the other 3 guys like in weeks 1, 2. I need him during the playoff weeks. So I'm happy to add him. He's also a perfect best ball wide receiver as well because, again, you don't have to guess when you need to start him. He catches long touchdown passes. That's exactly what I want on my best ball teams. So this guy on the clock doesn't have a quarterback. He takes one, Brock Purdy, stacked with Mike Evans. I kind of like his team. He's got Bijan, Brock Bowers, Zay Flowers, Mike Evans, Tootin, Quentin Johnston, Harrison, and Brock Purdy. And then he goes Brooks. So he's got 2 high upside bets with Bijan at running back. Let's check out my team. So I've yet to take in a tight end. I've yet to take a tight end. I have Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, Ashton Jeanty, James Cook, Garrett Wilson, Luther Burden, Brian Thomas, and Alec Pierce. So I actually really like my wide receiver room because I have a guy where I feel like he's going to get a lot of targets in the New York Jets offense. Garrett Wilson is their like clear wide receiver one. And then I have three guys that can catch long touchdown passes. And like Luther Burden could definitely emerge as one of Caleb Williams' favorite targets. Same with Brian Thomas with Trevor Lawrence. Like he could turn out to lead the Jags in receiving, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. And then Alec Pierce just got signed to a massive contract. And sure, he's coming off an injury, but he's going to be ready for when I need him, which is week 15 to 17. So I'm almost back up on the clock. I get to take 2 picks in a row, which is nice. See the running backs here. I think I want to take a running back. I could take 2 running backs. I could take Jakobi Meyers with my Trevor Lawrence stack, which I might. I'm going to do that. So I'm taking Jakobi Meyers here to stack him up with Trevor Lawrence. 6 picks after ADP, which is fine with me. And then Jacksonville plays Washington in week 17. So I'm going to take, and I also like Rachaad White this year. So I'm going to take Rachaad White. So I still haven't taken a tight end. So I'll probably end up staying at 2 quarterbacks and taking like 3 to 4 tight ends, depending on when I take my first one. Let's check the board out. So yeah, me and actually 3 other teams have yet to take a tight end. Only one team has 2 tight ends. So people are starting to take their second tight ends. I could look to take Washington's tight end at the next pick, Chig. I'm pretty high on him. There was something I saw on Twitter today, actually, that it was his words, like he was excited to be in an offense where he could finally like basically do what he can do. So like it just sounds like he sees that this offense fits him a lot better than the Tennessee offense that he was in, which isn't surprising because Tennessee was pretty awful last year. So I like him as a pick, especially when I'm trying to correlate him up, and he should still be there on my next pick. Yeah. He most likely for sure will be here. And then I just have to decide if I want to pair him up with like another tight end, which I probably won't. I could take Dallas Goedert with him. I could get the ultimate Jacksonville stack, which would be kind of crazy. But I don't think I want to do that. I could take a running back. I do like Tyrone Tracy's week 17 matchup. And if anything happens to Cam, he could see a lot of work. I definitely know I want to take Chig, so I'm going to take Chig. And then I'm going to decide if I want to take... Yeah, I do want to take him. I'm going to take Tyrone Tracy. Like I said, I like that week 17 matchup. I actually like the New York Giants schedule in the playoffs. They have Cleveland, Detroit, and Dallas. And then I do take a lot of Cam Skattebo, so this is like hedging my bets because Cam Skattebo is coming off a nasty injury. So I like adding him to my teams. And his first 2 years, he's put up like 130 points or so. So my team right now is a 2-4-5-1. See how I stack up. So this guy next to me also has a 2-4-5-1. The opposite, a 2-5-4-1. He takes my tight end that I was going to take, Brenton Strange. So yeah, judging by what tight end I took and where I took my first tight end, it's definitely going to be a 3 tight end build for me. And possibly a 4, but most likely a 3. It's just if any value falls, then I would be willing to take a 4th. So I could always take Daniel Jones with these guys too, even though I said I was going to stop at 2 quarterbacks. But Daniel Jones stacks up with Alec Pierce. And like I said, I really like Daniel Jones and the Colts playoff schedule. Ah, he got sniped. I would have taken him. So I'm actually going to go. I don't do this much either. I'm going to go Trey Tucker here. Add him to the receiving room. And then I'm going to go Zach Charbonnet. And the reason I like this pick for this team specifically is because I went 2 early running backs. So, like, these 2 guys, if they don't carry my team throughout the year, and, like, if they don't have good seasons, I'm not going to win regardless because they were my first 2 picks, most likely, unless my later picks are, like, fantastic. But most likely, I need these 2 guys to perform well. And if they perform well, I don't need Zach Charbonnet until the playoffs. And Seattle plays Carolina week 17. So I like adding him to some of my builds. So yeah, I'll most likely go 2 tight ends with my next 2 picks. Just because, honestly, I don't really love any of the wide receivers or running backs. Like, I like some of them, but I don't, like, I'm fine with passing them up as well. And then seeing who falls the last 2 picks. See if there's any crazy builds out there. Everyone seems to be drafting pretty normal. Nothing too crazy. At this point, I'm definitely sticking to 2 quarterbacks. All right, so like I said, I was most likely going 2 tight ends. And I did not lie to you. So I just took 2 tight ends that I just like taking at the end of the draft. So yeah, I would have taken AJ Barner. I like him too. I could have taken Dolchich. I like mixing these guys up towards the end. You just never really know with the tight ends. Like one of these guys could randomly finish in like the top 5. So yeah, let's look at my team now. I got a 2-5-6-3 build. I'll probably end up with a 2-6-7-3 because I'm pretty confident, honestly, in my wide receiver room and in my running back room, which is a good spot to be in these drafts because then you can just kind of take it. It gives you more flexibility when you are comfortable with both of your rooms. Like you're not forced to take running backs at the end. But I'm definitely going to be adding a wide receiver, at least one. I could add 2 wide receivers and stick with these guys. But I probably will add another running back, especially if there's one that I like still. We'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Ray Davis goes. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to do as many of these tournaments as possible. I'm probably going to stream one more tonight. Probably draft like 50 more tonight, maybe. Which is kind of, I mean, it's crazy, but I can draft like 3 at one time on my phone, especially when they're $1 entries. And I've drafted so many times that I kind of know who I like, who I want to stack with who, etc. Okay, so I'm definitely taking Katron Allen and stacking him with my Washington bet. And then I want a wide receiver here. I'm going to go Christian Kirk. I just like mixing it up at the end, and I haven't taken him much, so I'm taking him. So yeah, here's my team. I got a 2-6-7-3. I like it. So we're gonna do one more draft in the Little Dalmatian. It's only $1, so we're trying to win the first prize of $20,000. So we'll do one more draft tonight. Let's do it. We got the 6th pick. Could definitely look to be taking someone like Jonathan Taylor or Christian McCaffrey. Like I said, I just started doing this, so I'm trying to, grow the channel a little bit. So if you like the video, if you subscribe to the channel, it will help the algorithm push my videos so more people see it. My goal is to start streaming live so I can get people to draft with, so we can, you guys can roast my picks if you want in the comments. And it's just more fun drafting with some people that you're chatting back and forth with. So this tournament is the Little Dalmatian, so it's $1 to enter. So I'm going to be trying to do as many of these as possible to get as many entries in as I can to give myself the best chance of winning. All right, I'm going to go JSN here. He usually doesn't fall past the 5th pick, so I'm cool with taking him. Seattle's also got Carolina week 17. So I like that matchup for Seattle and JSN. We'll see if we want to get unique with this roster. I might. I could take someone like Jeremiah Love or George Pickens. It's good to get unique with these teams because in week 17, you're going up, if you make it to the final, which is hard to do, you're going up against over 400 other teams. So whatever can separate you from those other teams will obviously help you win. And George Pickens typically goes on the left side of the board. He doesn't normally make it back to 3.6. That's just an example. I might not go unique because honestly, I like this guy too much to do it. Same with him. And that's the thing about uniqueness is like, sure, you can go unique if, in my opinion, if there's not like a tier break. And the way I see it, AJ Brown is just a higher tier for me. Same with, I don't know actually. Maybe he's not. I'm just going to go Jeremiah Love here to get unique a little bit, like my original plan. I mean, A.J. Brown and George Pickens, they are in the same tier. I just like A.J. Brown, I guess, a little bit more. But I think that is the difference between like getting unique or not is like, are they in the same tier in your rankings? Because if they're not, you shouldn't go unique. You should take the higher tier guy. That's just how I look at it. I'm sure other people would tell you otherwise, but it's all like game strategy. Because like obviously you're not going to go unique to take like David Montgomery or someone like that over one of these two guys because David Montgomery is just in a lower tier comparatively. I could definitely see Josh Jacobs creeping up draft boards and consistently starting to go in the beginning of the 3rd round. So this isn't crazy by this guy. The thing I like about Jeremiah Love is not only his draft capital and his talent, but his playoff schedule for fantasy football. Because in week 15, he's got the New York Jets, then the New Orleans Saints, then the Las Vegas Raiders. So I'm definitely going to go one of these two guys. And because these Jeremiah Love plays the New York Jets in week 15, that'll be my tiebreaker this time. So I'll go Breece Hall. Just because, they both, it could be a high scoring game and both of these running backs could score touchdowns. And then I could advance to week 16. You just never know. You never know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of best ball and sports in general. You never know what's going to happen. Anybody can beat anybody. All it takes is some confidence and in best ball, a well-structured team. So Rashee Rice, I like this guy's team. Rashee Rice fell all the way to the end of the 3rd round, which is just kind of crazy. Honestly, I like mixing like all of these guys in. They all have pretty high ceilings in my opinion. So we'll see who I'm going to take. Maybe mix in someone I haven't taken in a while. All right. I'm going to go with like a hero wide receiver build, whatever you want to call it, and take a third running back here. Again, it's another guy who I like his fantasy matchups week 15 to 17. The New York Giants have Cleveland, Detroit, and at Dallas. And Cam Scatterboo, he showed last year that he could be a workhorse, and the New York Giants have shown that they want to run the ball this year. They have a new coaching staff who wants to run the ball. They go out and get a blocking fullback. They go out and they get some upgrades at the offensive line. He got like all the team's touches inside the 5-yard line besides Dart last year. Like they're not handing it to Tyrone Tracy at the goal line. There's just no way. So I like the Cam pick, and especially as my third running back. I am. Because I haven't done this much. I'm going 4 early running backs. I'm taking the last workhorse back on the board in Quinshon Junkins. After that, all these guys are sharing the backfield most likely. Quinshon Junkins, if he's healthy, he's going to be the workhorse back. Samson might mix in a little bit, but honestly, I could just see it being completely his backfield. And there were games last year, like this is Quinshon Junkins' game log. So, like, as you can see, there were some games he caught passes. A game where he scored 2 touchdowns, a game where he scored 3 touchdowns. Touchdown, touchdown, catching passes, 5 targets, 6 catches. And the Cleveland Browns have the New York Giants, the Baltimore Ravens, and Indy. All right, I'm almost back up on the clock. Let's check the board. I'm coming up. I'm going to need wide receivers because I only have one. I think when you go this heavy at running back, especially when you need to start 3 wide receivers, I think it's important that I start hammering wide receivers and not like take a elite quarterback, because then you just get so far behind at wide receiver that it's hard to catch up. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm sure you could try to go elite quarterback, but that's just how I want to play it this time. So my 2 wide receivers right now are JSN and Marvin Harrison. And I have Marvin Harrison and Jeremiah Love, which I'm fine with because of the week 15, 16, 17 schedule for them. And this team too is a team I'm most likely going to have like 9 wide receivers. All right, I'm going to take Courtland Sutton. He's a consistent player that is going to put up some points throughout the year. He could get some second cornerbacks this year. Like in the past, he's been the Broncos' number one wide receiver, but now Waddle gets there. So the top cornerbacks could be marking Waddle, and he's a big body. He could get some red zone opportunities and score some touchdowns. It's more of like a floor pick for sure. But I'm going to need that in my wide receiver room because I waited so long. I still don't have a quarterback. I'm one of three teams that don't have a quarterback. I will say though, I do like some of these wide receivers still on the board. So I will be taking a wide receiver here between these two guys because I need wide receivers. All right, I'm going to take Josh Downs here. I get the correlation with Indy and Cleveland in week 17. And Josh Downs has been getting some hype that he's going to run more routes this year. Michael Pittman is now with Pittsburgh. And I'm not spending too much draft capital on him. So I definitely need to look at taking a quarterback. If Dart falls, it's someone I would take. Or Bo Nix because I have Courtland Sutton. I could even do Kyler Murray against Breece Hall. Kyler Murray, you don't necessarily need stacks with him because he can rush for touchdowns. Obviously, it makes you feel better when you have Justin Jefferson or Addison. I could always stack him with TJ Hawkinson. I could get Ricky Pearsall here. I still like some of these wide receivers. He takes Bo Nix. So I'm definitely taking Dart here if he falls because I have Cam Scatterboo. Okay, so yeah. This is like a must click in my opinion for me. I don't have a quarterback and I have Cam Scatterboo. So that kind of worked out perfectly. So yeah, I went one wide receiver, 4 running backs in a row, 3 wide receivers in a row, and a quarterback. I definitely, obviously I don't draft like this all the time with taking running backs this early, but I think I said it before. It's good, especially when you're doing multiple drafts in a tournament, to mix up how you're drafting. Because at the end of the day, none of us can predict the future. None of us know what's going to happen. There's so much variance throughout the NFL season with injuries, trades, quarterback changes that you want to just be mixing up everything that you do for the most part. So yeah, I could look to take another quarterback here if I want to. Or I could take Dobbs, who I don't mind as like another floor guy. I could take Higgins. Could take a quarterback. I could take George Kittle. So many options. Take Travis Kelce. I'm going to take Dobbs here. He's consistently shown he can put up, he's got a good, decent floor. He's on a new team in an offense with one of the best quarterbacks in the league. A lot of offenses should be focusing on A.J. Brown, and he's proven he's got a nose for the end zone as well. So I'll take his random touchdown games with hopefully my legit running back room. All these guys are young. 2 of them are second year. Breece Hall's 24 years old, and 1 is a rookie. So I got a very young running back room. So I'm up next. I'm trying to think of what I want to do. Okay. I'm actually going to take Shook here, because I know I'm going to take 3 quarterbacks. So it's fine that they have the same bye week. And why I took him too is because the Saints play Arizona. I have 2 Arizona guys in week 16. And I could always grab his tight end as a stack. The Saints could also be a team that just spreads the ball around a little bit more this year, and he rushes. So it's not like necessarily that I absolutely need a stack. I was thinking about taking Likely there to stack with Dart, but I'm really hoping he falls back to me, which he might not, but that was just a risk I wanted to take. This guy doesn't have any tight. So yeah, the tight end run got me on that one. But I have a lot of stacks of Dart and Likely, so I'm not worried about it. The Saints have a great schedule in the playoffs as well. So I just have another quarterback that can go off. I'm going to try to get Daniel Jones on the way back. So not this pick, but next pick to pair with Josh Downs. And I'm just going to continue to wait on tight end. Is my plan. Okay, so Cam Ward goes. I'm actually just going to go ahead and take Daniel Jones here just because, like, I don't love these wide receivers. Like, they're fine. But I want to make sure I get another stack on this team. At least one more. And now I am very confident in my quarterback room, to be honest. Like, I like these 3 guys. So I'm going to be going 3, 4, maybe like 3, 4, 7, 4. Is that even possible? 3, 4, or do I have to go 3, 4, 6, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 picks left. So 3, 4. We'll see. I can't do that math right now. I need to focus on the picks. But I definitely need some tight ends, obviously. Could go Hunter Henry, but that's the thing. Like, I waited on tight end, and I can still grab a guy who scored 7 touchdowns last year. So it's like, if I'm not taking one of the top tight ends, I kind of just want to wait and take a guy like Hunter Henry. Or I could take Juwan Johnson, who's stacked with my Tyler Shook. And all these guys took tight ends last time. A lot of them did. So I could try to get both of them. But I think I'll just go ahead and get Juwan Johnson and make sure I get another stack here. He had a good year last year. The Saints should throw the ball a decent amount, and their schedule's good for week 15 to 17. And then I'll see if Hunter Henry falls back. But like a lot of these guys are just the same to me. Like Hunter Henry, AJ Barner, there isn't, in my opinion, that much of a difference. He scored 121 points last year. And Hunter Henry scored 148. So there's like a 20-point difference. And in my opinion, like Hunter Henry, you now have A.J. Brown in that offense, who's a big red zone target. So his touchdowns could definitely go down. I explained on my last video why I like Zach Charbonnet. If you didn't see that one, you can go back and watch it. He got taken regardless. But yeah, Zach Charbonnet, I don't mind the pick, even though he's injured right now. I'm going to continue with this Cleveland. I have the Cleveland Indy stack for week 17 with Daniel Jones, Josh Downs, now Denzel Boston, and Quinshon Judkins. So I like that quite a bit. Actually, it's a week 17 stack game that I don't typically take very much because both the offenses are not supposed to be very good this year. But, you know, like I said, I like to mix it up. You never know what's going to happen. Can't be too sure. So yeah, just looking at my team though, you can see like, all right, I got the Cleveland Indy stacked. I got Saints and Arizona in week 16 stacked. I got the New York Giants with the Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo. Let's look at their schedule. They play Cleveland as well in week 15, so I got that stacked for week 15. But they played Dallas in week 17. I don't have any Dallas guys, but not the end of the world. I could always take Ryan Flournoy if I really want to get a Dallas guy. I'm not super high on him though, so I don't think I'm going to do it. Especially when A.J. Barner's on the board. Jerry Jeudy goes. He's another Cleveland guy I could have looked to take if someone would have taken Denzel Boston. I really liked Boston's film. And that was before all these reports started coming out about how he was doing very well in camp. And for me, I wasn't surprised because if you go watch his highlight film on YouTube, the guy is like 6'4" and he's a beast. So I'm super high on Denzel Boston. I just wish he was in a different offense because his quarterback situation is not going to be good. But I take him quite a bit. And yeah, another pick that I like is A.J. Barner. He scored 7 touchdowns last year. Like I said, he was only 20 points behind Hunter Henry, which is basically like one breakout game. And they would have had the same scores. And he goes, I got him 2 rounds after, about 1.5 rounds after Hunter Henry. And that's the thing too, is like if I would have taken Isaiah Likely here to pair up with Jackson Dart, which I do that sometimes, but like if I would have done that, Tyler Shough definitely would have gone, and Cam Ward probably would have gone as well. So then I would be looking at like Daniel Jones and not even maybe Bryce Young. So like Daniel Jones and Aaron Rodgers maybe. Like I would have maybe had to reach on a quarterback here that I didn't like. So I think that was the correct decision. I'm coming up on the clock. I like these guys. So I'm just going to go my favorite guy on the board, which is Stribling. I like the offense he's in. I like the talent. And I like his opportunity because he's behind a bunch of injury-prone receivers. George Kittle is coming off a Achilles injury. Mike Evans is coming off, I'm pretty sure, hamstring injuries, but he's also 33 years old. He was banged up last year. Ricky Pearsall has not been healthy since he's been in the NFL. So Stribling's a guy I also like to take. Right now I got 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 7 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. And I believe there's 2 picks left. See, it's good when you look at your team and you're like thinking, oh, there's one, like I only need one more pick to make this team good. And then you look at the board and there's 2 more picks. That's how you know you got a pretty decent team. And that's when you can get creative on your last picks. Like I could take 4 tight ends if I want. I could leave it and risk. If these 2 guys have a decent season and pop in the right weeks, like these 2 tight ends could work for me. And then I could just load up at wide receiver and take 9 wide receivers since I waited. I like too that I only took 4 running backs, but if they all stay healthy, none of them have the same bye week. So every single week, I'll at least have 3 available if they're healthy. Which you can't like draft scared and be like, well, what if Jeremiah Love gets hurt? I want to take another running back just in case. It's like we're trying to finish first place out of like 100,000 teams. So if you draft like that, most likely you're not going to win. So I'm taking Terrence Ferguson here. I take him at his ADP almost if I need a tight end every single time. Little tight end run to end the draft, coming up to the last round. I appreciate y'all joining me for this draft. This draft is going to fill quickly, the Little Dalmatian, because it's $1 to enter, and first prize takes home $20,000. So if you want to get in this tournament, I suggest that you go onto Underdog and draft this week for sure. But yeah, if you appreciated the video, if you liked hearing my takes on players and my game strategy, please hit the like button. I'm trying to get a little bit of a following. This is only my 3rd stream or 4th stream. I'm trying to get a little bit of a following so I can start doing this live and draft with people and hear other people's takes in the comments. I just think it'll be a lot more fun that way. I'm coming back up on the clock. I think I want to take a wide receiver here. I could take a running back if I wanted to. I might take a running back. And the reason I might take a running back is because I have Seattle pieces there's been rumors that he's going to get to play a lot, and I have like a rookie who could start off slow. I have 2 guys coming off an injury that could start off slow. So I think just getting a guy that could get some touches at the beginning of the year could help this team advance. And I'm confident in my wide receivers. Like, I didn't go wide receivers early, but I did hammer them through the middle rounds. So it's not like I got a bunch of guys at the end of the draft. I got 2 rookies that I believe in at the end of the draft, and I got 4 guys in the middle rounds. So it's not like my wide receiver room is weak. So I'm fine with taking another running back. So yeah, thanks for joining. Again, smash that like button. Follow me on YouTube. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.